The Washington Commanders have signed 10 UDFAs, that's undrafted free agents, after the conclusion of the 2025 NFL Draft. And today on the Commanders Report, we are going to be grading all 10 of those signings, and we'll also let you guys know the other players that the Commanders have invited to their rookie minicamp, slated to be in just a few short days. But before we get into it today, guys, today's the last day to take the NFC East in our NFC East sub-battle for the month of April. We have added over 1,000 subscribers just this month alone, but the other channels here at Chat Sports in the division have also had very good months. The Cowboys Report is beating us here by just a few subscribers. Eagles Now is currently leading the NFC East for the month of April with over 1,000 as well, with I think just 8 more than us right now. But then Giants Now is in last place with 1,065. So new viewers, we are counting on you guys right now to click that subscribe button, all right? And here's the deal that I'll make with you guys. Click that subscribe button here. Try out our content for a week. If you don't enjoy our in-depth, free Commanders coverage on this channel, you guys can just click that unsubscribe button. But hey, now is the moment of truth. We got to win the division. We're only 8 behind the leader right now. Let's take this thing home. Click that subscribe button so we can win the month of April. Okay, now let's get into the UDFA grades, and we'll go from my lowest grades to the highest grades. And listen, guys, it's a UDFA, all right? I'm not going to give it an F, all right? A C is usually as low as I'm going to go on a UDFA, and Ricky Barber, probably has a uphill battle, let's put it that way, to make the final roster, in my opinion, at the defensive tackle position. Same thing goes with the safety, Trey Rucker, out of Oklahoma State. Now, the safety room is a little bit less dense here in Washington than maybe the defensive tackle room is, so maybe Rucker has a slightly better chance, but overall, I don't really expect him to make a whole lot of noise during the offseason program. Jacoby Jones out of UCF, a wide receiver. Similarly, I'm not really expecting him to make the final roster or compete for a starting job or even a rotational job at that. Then we can get to some of my higher grades here. We'll go with Ale Kahu. I hope I'm saying that right. I'm probably butchering the pronunciation right there. But inside linebacker out of UCLA. And he does bring some good athleticism to the table. Really fast for a linebacker, but he is undersized at 231 pounds. But the relative athletic score is above a 7.3, which is a pretty darn good number there. But this is another inside linebacker that the Washington Commanders went out and got this year. Kane Medrano, 6th-round pick out of UCLA for the Commanders, is even better than Kahu is at the athletic testing. He's also severely undersized at 222 pounds, so he's even lighter than Kahu is, but he's even faster at 4.46 as an inside linebacker. He's going to be somebody that the Commanders are really going to be honing in on and trying to develop in the years to come. So I think that that's probably going to hold Ale Kahu back because he's the UDFA and Medrano was the draft pick. Then we get to Cam Arnold, inside linebacker, another linebacker here, this time out of Boston College. And another reason why I have Kahu down at a B- is because Arnold is another undersized linebacker that tested even better than Kahu did. And Arnold is somebody that had a 9.31 relative athletic score. That is absolutely fantastic. He's got really good change of direction ability, and really explosive athlete here to pair with that 4.56 speed, which is absolutely elite for an inside linebacker. So I'll give him a B grade here. Then we move on to Carlin Viggers, cornerback out of Louisiana Monroe. I'm going to give him a B+ because I do like some of the physical attributes that he brings to the table. He's got long arms. He's got a good physical profile, and I think that he fits what the Commanders are looking for from the cornerback position. Now, obviously, the speed isn't phenomenal, but he brings great size to the table and explosiveness. The acceleration isn't great, and then the long speed suffers because of that. Had a 4.52. I mean, goodness gracious. Kane Medrano ran faster than this guy, and he is a cornerback, but I do think his physical style of play and those 32 3/4-inch arms is definitely some tools in his tool belt that he's going to be able to use here to maybe compete for positioning on this roster this offseason. Then we get to the player that the Commanders spent a ton of money on here on the offensive line, Tim McKay from NC State. I'm going to give this one an A-. Tom Pelissero reported this right after the NFL draft on Saturday. Former NC State offensive lineman Tim McKay, who was projected as a mid-round pick before tearing his pec at his pro day, is signing with the Commanders on a deal that includes $275,000 guaranteed per his agents. So this is somebody that tore his pec at his pro day. He's not going to be ready to go for the start of the season. But he is somebody that's going to be able to come in when he gets healthy and compete, all right? And this is definitely an offensive line that needs players that can play. And the fact that this guy was expected to go in the middle rounds before that injury, ends up going undrafted, I mean, you're pretty much getting a mid-round level player here that's not going to be ready to play right away. He's going to be rehabbing. But when he gets back, you're pretty much adding an additional mid-round pick to your arsenal here without having to give up any draft capital to do so. So I really like this pickup from Adam Peters, the Commanders GM. And hey, they had the pay a little bit more to get him, but it's $275,000. That's nothing for these NFL franchises. Then you get to somebody that I'm really excited to see this offseason, and Robert McDaniel, the defensive back out of Jackson State. And, this guy's an athletic freak, man. Extremely explosive. His tape, he is just an absolute heat-seeking missile. He plays at nickel cornerback. He can play safety. He can even play a little bit of edge, where he's an excellent blitzer from the slot, or even lined up at the edge, where he did a little bit of edge rusher work on pass-happy downs at Jackson State. EJ Snyder is the host of a Bootleg Football podcast along with Brett Coleman here on YouTube. You guys should check out their channel if you haven't already. They do some excellent stuff, and EJ is a smart NFL guy, and this is what he had to say about his evaluation of Robert McDaniel. Is one of the most interesting players in this entire draft. 6'2", 211 pounds, and they lined him up everywhere. 338 slot reps, 123 outside cornerback, and 143 reps as an edge rusher. Takes great angles in the run game, blitzes like a maniac, hits like a truck. So cool. And this is somebody that I think has a shot to prove himself at a lot of different positions. Slot cornerback, I think that they might try him at outside a little bit. I think they will try him out maybe at linebacker, type of edge rusher type of positioning. And then they might even try him at strong safety, where he's got the size to be able to compete for that job. And usually this defense requires like a true box safety on early downs. Maybe they let McDaniel really try out for that position, because he is a good run defender. He is very smart in terms of his run defense, and he does get after quarterbacks. So if you want to do like a safety blitz with McDaniel, you could absolutely do that. So this is a very fun player. They can move all around the formation, and because of that versatility, I think he has a pretty darn good chance of making the final 53-man roster. Then we get to Fentrell Cypress, cornerback out of Florida State. Of course, Lazarie Thomas went to the New York Jets, I believe, on day 2, his teammate there at Florida State. But they run a lot of man coverage there, and Cypress was pretty darn good running that style of coverage. He's got long arms for a corner. He's obviously very, very fast at that 4.43 speed. That's certainly good enough for a starting NFL corner. He's got really oily hips. He can turn those hips with ease and run down the field if it's a vertical route, so you're not going to beat him over the top. I will say his foot speed and change of direction ability isn't phenomenal, but it is, I think, good enough, and he is severely undersized, so he's going to have to get a little bit bigger, continue to put on poundage here throughout his NFL career, but he's got some nice tools at his disposal here that is going to allow him to compete this offseason with the Washington Commanders to find potentially a roster spot for him in the future. Then my only A-plus grade for the Commanders UDFA class this year is Ja'Cory Brooks, wide receiver out of Louisville. Now, if you don't know anything about me, obviously we weren't talking much quarterback talk here on the Commanders Report during the draft season, but if you know anything about my work here at Chat Sports, you know that I was a big Tyler Shough supporter, all right? I had a late round 1, early round 2 grade, and of course he ends up going top 40 to the New Orleans Saints. But when you watch Tyler Shough's film, Ja'Cory Brooks is the wide receiver that pops up the most. And he's not the fastest guy in the world, but he can make some crazy catches, guys. Fantastic body control. physical and downfield ability to track the football. He's really, really good at tracking the football in the air, down the field, and then going up and making some really ridiculous catches. I'm really excited to see what he's going to be able to do this offseason for the Washington Commanders. And, he had options, and he decided to come to Washington. So that certainly bodes well in terms of for him, thinking that he might even have a chance to compete for a roster spot here in Washington and, potentially be somebody that develops a connection with Jaden Daniels in the years to come. So he's a former Alabama commit. He transferred to Louisville. He was their number one receiver last year by far. I'm excited to see Ja'Cory Brooks play for the Washington Commanders during the preseason this year. So who's your guy? Let me know down there in the comment section which UDFA has the best chance to make the roster this year. Let me know what you guys think down there in the comment section. And before we talk about some of the rookie minicamp invites that the Commanders have invited to camp this year, let's have a word from our sponsor here at Fanatics, where you guys can get a brand new Jaden Daniels jersey in your collection today when you go to chatsports.com/Daniels. Also, you get to help out the channel if you make a purchase today when you use our link that we'll put in the comments and description of today's show. Again, that's chatsports.com/Daniels. And if you click that link and you make a purchase, Fanatics sends us part of the proceeds here at the Commanders Report. So if you want to help us out and you want to help yourself out, let's face it, guys, Jaden Daniels is going to be here for over a decade as this team's franchise quarterback. You might as well make the investment in his jersey because he's going to be an all-time great for this organization. It's a great investment in terms of a Commanders jersey, and you can help out the channel in the process. So go to chatsports.com/Daniels. Really do appreciate your guys' support. And with that, let's get into the rookie minicamp invite list here, guys, because Commanders have been obviously busy putting in all these, signing all of these UDFAs to their 90-man roster. There's actually not that many that are just pure rookie minicamp invites, but they did invite Sean Taylor's brother, Gabe Taylor. Talked about it on the channel earlier this week, and, he played strong safety at Rice, but he's severely undersized for a strong safety, so he's going to have to convert either to nickel corner or to free safety in the league. So that'll be an adventure here. You got Colin Schlee, quarterback out of Virginia Tech, Keegan Jones, running back out of UCLA, Maurice Smith, Cypress's teammate there with the Florida State Seminoles at offensive line, and then Joseph Carter as another offensive lineman that is getting a camp invite. All right, that'll be it for today's edition of the Commanders Report. Thank you guys so much for making it to the end of today's program. We will see you guys next time, and until then, go raise some hell.